studios in New York City. This is Charlie Rose.
On the fateful morning of September 11th, brothers Jules and Gideon Naudet, two French filmmakers, were filming in Lower Manhattan for a documentary of New York City firefighters. From the time the first plane hit the towers, they never stopped filming. They captured scenes in the World Trade Center area and for a time within Tower 1 itself before it fell. Their 180 hours of footage has now been made into a CBS documentary entitled 9/11. It is perhaps the most extensive visual record that exists of the attacks that morning. Certainly it is. The New York Times has called the film an important first-hand piece of history. Joining me now, the filmmakers, Jules and Gideon Naudet, and here is their friend and firefighter James Hanlon, who was instrumental in granting them access to his company, Engine 7, Ladder 1. I am pleased to have them here at this table. Welcome. It's great to have you. We have a history, which I just want to say. I heard about this and I called you, and I know you're not doing a lot of publicity for this, and you said we'll get together and talk. So
that was a promise.
I thank you for coming. Set this up, which brought you three have been friends for how long?
A decade.
Yeah,
it's been a decade. I'm married to a French woman, Sophie, and I met Jules and Gideon both through her.
Yeah.
So that was about 10 years ago, and we became fast friends, and over the years gotten closer and closer and closer, and it just developed out of that.
You guys came to the United States
over 13 years ago.
13 years ago.
Yeah.
You went to NYU, did you?
Absolutely.
Graduate School of Film, School of Filmmaking.
Yeah. Tisch School of the Arts.
Graduated in 95.
Yeah. Made another documentary before this.
We made several documentaries, but one feature documentary right before that.
Yeah.
And with James also, as he narrates a documentary.
Yeah. Why the firefighters? Why did you want to make this story before 9/11 of firefighters? What was the...
Well, outside this never-lasting fascination and admiration for firefighters, growing up, and when you're 5 years old, and anybody asks you what you want to do and who you want to be when you grow up, and of course, the first answer is a fireman.
Yeah.
And then meeting James, who became a firefighter, and being at the dinners at home, and James telling us stories about the job and how tight of a family it is and how incredible are the guys, and we're just fascinated.
Yeah, both of you.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Just like little kids. I remember when we had these dinners and this long talks about fighting fires, the friendship inside of firefighters. We're like little kids. Our Joe would drop and listen to every word and wanted to know more.
Yeah.
And if I would go to Engine 7 Ladder 1 today, and every member of your family, firefighting family, survive,
Yes.
and ask them, why are you a firefighter, what would they say?
They would say because it's a job they can get up every morning, look in the mirror, and say, I'm going to work and I love what I do.
Yeah. One, in fact, says that in the film.
Yes.
Saying, I can't imagine being, in this case, a lawyer, sitting in an office.
Some people, are chosen for that, but when you're a firefighter, it's a different choice, in life. You're drawn to it. It's a life of service, and I know everybody that I work with and every fireman I ever met love the job. They love it. You're just happy to go to work every day. And it's something new every day, something different.
You never know what the day will bring.
No, you don't.
Sometimes a fire, sometimes not.
Sometimes it could be somebody drowning in the river where you go.
But there's always the camaraderie of the guys.
Very tight-knit, very close family. It's a family, really.
Yeah. You started this when?
But we started this all together about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And got together and decided that the best way to approach those guys at the firehouse was through a young probie.
A probie.
And
this is a guy on probation.
Yeah, and the one
It's a tough gig for 9 months.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And we see the introduction of Tony in this film.
At the Fire Academy,
Yeah.
yes.
And you wanted to show his inauguration into the firefighting family.
Well, actually, it was why we had chosen the Proby at the beginning was the Proby is like the audience. It comes on the job. It doesn't know the fire department. It doesn't know how to be a firefighter. So we decided it would be an amazing journey for the audience to follow at the same time and to learn at the same time as Tony, the Proby.
Yeah. There's a great scene where he's up on the ladder in training, and he says, "What are you going to do with your helmet?" And he doesn't know. He says, "I don't know."
He's learning. Yeah.
He's learning.
Yeah. And the audience learns along with him. It's a great venue for them to look through his eyes.
Before 9/11, these guys had become, because of you, really a part of the family in part?
We had to go in in May to kind of break the ice. It's not a community that you just step into, and when a camera comes around, everything stops. Guys leave. They don't want to. It's not an outside world. Somebody can enter and come in. So when we went in May, we had large discussions over dinners and said, listen, it's going to be tough on the Proby, but it's going to be really tough on the two of you.
Yeah.
This is something.
You got to prove yourself too.
An American citizen is becoming an American citizen, but they have French accents. And you're walking into a firehouse, and these are a tough bunch of guys, and cameras on top of that. Yeah. That's not going to happen. But little by little, showing up every day for work, showing up to a tour, being around the guys, the ice started to melt. And then by the time the Proby comes in, it's a little warmer for everybody, It's like one Proby came in, it's really like 3 Probies came in, And,
we were sub-Probies.
You were what?
We were sub-Probies.
Yeah.
You were sub-Probies.
We're not even Probies.
9/11. It's not your day to be at work.
No.
You're at home.
Left that morning early.
You are?
At the firehouse.
You have gone to?
First, the call came at around 8:30. Odor of gas at the corner of Church and L'Espinard, which is a few blocks away from the firehouse. Routine call for the morning. Remember, an hour before, I had left a message for my fiancée saying, well, still no fire, yawning on the phone, and then, a last run, I have to take it, I'll be home soon. And we arrive at the gas leak, engine 7, ladder 1, battalion 1. And it's a routine operation. There is a smell of gas in the street. They call Con Edison. We expect them to arrive very soon. And as I'm filming Chief Pfeiffer, Chief of Battalion 1, we hear this roar that seems to be coming closer and closer above us. And I remember looking up. I had my camera right there. I look up and I see the plane going in between 2 buildings. I see it very clearly. I see it's American Airlines. It's big and it's going extremely fast. I turned the camera to see where it was going to go after it appears on the other side of the building, and you have the 2 towers, and it simply crashes into the first tower.
You have the camera rolling?
Yes.
Yeah. It should be said that you were not an experienced filmmaker.
No. I was
part of what you were doing was to.
It was practice, It was I was filming. I just got enough money to get another camera, and was filming. And the usual thing was I was filming all day, and at night would show the stuff to my brother, and he would say, okay, so you have to do this better, or be careful, you're moving too much, or you have the frame has to be more this way. And so that was my way of learning. And that day, just inexperienced as I was, and I don't know, it was just a reflex, I guess, or just instinct. Yes.
To keep filming.
Yes.
Yeah. I think you may have said, at least I can't remember what I've heard on the film, which I've seen, to reduce the horror of it all.
Yes, especially when later on during the day, when the South Tower comes down, immediately it became almost like a defense mechanism. I was looking at what was happening through the little screen on the side of the camera, and it was a way to put kind of a barrier in between what was going on and for me living it through the camera.
But here's what's amazing, and I don't know if, to me, in addition, it has to do with judgment, it has to do with you as a human being, I think. When there were people in the lobby on fire.
Yes.
You didn't photograph it?
No. I remember when we arrived, all the windows in the lobby had been blown out. Marble has come off the wall. People are burning, and which would later realize it had been the jet fuel coming down from the plane to the elevator shaft and created a fireball in the lobby. And as I enter through the doors on my right, I just glance, and you have two people on fire. And just the image was so horrible that I, on the spot, said, no one should see this or would want to see this. But it was just myself protecting myself at the same time, saying, this is too horrible. I don't even want to see it again, so let's never show anything graphic. And same thing later on. It was never about, it was protecting myself, I think. It was just a censorship that I did on the spot as a way to, I don't know. Honestly, it was just to, it was, I didn't want to deal with that in my head.
I've talked to a lot of people who were within proximity of the Twin Towers who have said to me the thing they had nightmares about was people jumping out of the windows. Mm-hmm. You could hear it.
Yes.
And see it, or not?
Not really see it. We could hear it, yes. Yeah. I saw, but then I was definitely not looking in the direction of the windows anymore. But you could hear it, yes. And everybody, you had a moment where it would take you back because it was quite, at some point it was every 30 seconds, and it was, you knew basically that sound was a life.
A life gone.
Yes.
You were back at the station. When did the news come that you knew?
Back at the station, alone with a probie who had been relieved minutes earlier before Jules and the firemen left for the gas leak. And remembering hearing this huge roar also, and then this explosion. And right then thinking it was just a sonic boom, until a few seconds later when someone knocked on the door of the firehouse and said, a plane just exploded inside the World Trade Center, into the World Trade Center. And at first you just couldn't believe it. And you remember, I believe, 1947 when a B-52 entered the Empire State Building, I believe. And until you get to the corner of Church Street and you see this gigantic hole in this tower, it just doesn't make any sense. And walking down the Church Street to the World Trade Center, filming the reaction of the people, and
this is you now walking down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And remembering filming, it was like between the 7 blocks that separate the World Trade Center to the firehouse. It was like the entire world was there, all looking up, all talking about what was happening. They were just people from every country talking. Every languages, every nationality was represented and was there. The entire world was physically represented there that morning, and everybody was looking up. And as I would be walking down and arriving at the World Trade Center, just 30 seconds as I was tilting my camera up and down between people looking up and the 2 towers, that's when the second plane arrived and hit Tower 2.
Now, when did you begin to worry about where Jules was?
Just minutes after the first tower collapse, and hearing about it for the first time inside the firehouse.
Yeah.
And I had made my way back there.
You made your way back after being there to come back.
Went back to the firehouse and remembering 3 firemen arriving directly from their home to the firehouse and putting their gear together and talking about the fact that the first tower just collapsed. And as I was filming them and discovering them at the very moment, I realized that if this tower is gone, Jules might be gone also. And so those 3 firemen decided to jump into a pickup truck and to rush to the World Trade Center to help and save their friend. And right away I decided I jumped with them to look for Jules. And when we arrived there, after a few minutes, the last tower collapsed. And fortunately, I I survived it by jumping into a fire truck with an FBI agent behind me. But the three guys, the three firemen that I was working with, all got injured and wounded.
You were
Seriously.
saved because?
From when Tower 1 came down, we had been, at that point, we had finally found a way after exiting the lobby after the South Tower came down. But when the North Tower came down, we had been at the corner of West and Vesey, which was basically the corner of the block, and started running. And after about running 100 yards, not even, just decided I'm running aimlessly in the middle of the street. I need to find cover. Went down in between two cars, and as I was going down, being on the ground, putting my hands behind my neck to make sure in case there is a debris that it doesn't break my neck. And I felt someone jumping on top of me, and then that wave of dust and paper and debris started hitting all over, and the dust was coming, and when it cleared, I felt the person that was on top of me get up, and heard his voice saying, "Okay, let's go," and realized it's Chief Pfeiffer.
Chief Pfeiffer, who you'd come down with,
yes,
and who had done this to save your life.
Exactly.
Its instinct was
yes.
to save your life.
Yes.
And this is a man who lost his brother.
Yes. And he had, I remember in the lobby, especially when I look at the tape, I see every 2 minutes, he glances at me to make sure I'm here, because he had told me, yes, you can come in, stay with me. And every 5 minutes, 2 minutes, he was checking in to make sure I was close to him. He saved my life quite a few times that day.
Just by making sure you were close.
Yes.
He also sees his brother.
Yeah, he saw him. He was among, in the first few minutes, his brother arrived. He was with Engine 33, Kevin Pfeiffer. He was the lieutenant. And they had met briefly, exchanged a long glance, said, "Okay, you know your job, you have to go up." And then his brother, actually, the two brothers, they are thousands, beautiful stories of heroics and heroes. The two brothers are two of the heroes of that day. Chief Pfeiffer giving that call about a minute after the South Tower collapse, and not knowing
the Mayday,
yes, saying, "Tower 1 to all units, evacuate the building." And for him, it was a precaution. We didn't know the South Tower had collapsed. We think we have a partial collapse, probably, of the North Tower, the tower we're in. But for him, it's something is wrong. Let's get everybody out, and then we'll see what it is, and then we'll ask them to go back up.
The reason so many of your brothers in Engine 7, Ladder 1 survived is they weren't higher up.
In the 30s. They were up into the 30s. 31, I believe one of the guys was 37. Some guys started to get some more distance than others. But they heard the Mayday to get out of the building, and they start to work their way down. They get redirected by Kevin Pfeiffer, Chief Pfeiffer's brother, on the 10th floor,
saying,
"Switch to a different staircase, this will be a quicker way out." And that's probably the reason why they're alive today. 30 seconds, 40 seconds of a difference. The officers, also Captain Tardio from Engine 7, is carrying extra equipment with them. And this slows them down because he's grabbed extra hose to bring up. We call it a roll-up. And this slows them down. Otherwise, they're up even higher. Everybody's carrying extra stuff with them. But they get into the 30s. Pfeiffer redirects them. They make it out. But I can tell you that the guilt of that day for anybody who lived is tremendous.
You feel it?
Without a doubt. I mean, you go home in the morning, you come back in, the tower collapsed. I think that Jules and Gideon are dead. I run down Broadway, and it's just devastation. I spent maybe 2 hours down Broadway just thinking that my best friend, John McConaughey, who I work with, who I just spoke on the phone before that jumped in the pickup truck with Gideon, they're ahead of me. John's ahead of me by, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. You get down there, it's down.
15, 20 minutes is
every other
the
fireman,
difference in life and death.
Yeah, every other fireman in the city is on his way in, and you see this total devastation. It's the darkest day in the fire department's history.
your instinct was immediately to go in as soon as you saw it.
You have to go back.
Because that's the code? Because that's
you-
who you are, otherwise you wouldn't be a fireman? What?
You're a fireman, so you always want to go and you always want to do good. That's the biggest disaster that has possibly happened in this country in 50 years. That's what you do for a living. Jules and Gideon are down there. We were making a documentary together. I happened to leave early in the morning because the night before we were filming,
Yeah, right.
Jules took in the last run. I think you were packing the camera up, you know, to leave. My whole firehouse is there. Every fireman I live with, I mean, that I work with, and every fireman on the job, you have to get back. People are going to be trapped. And I think now with the destruction, they're gone. It's a day I don't really like to revisit, you know, mentally.
What does this film do for you then?
It's been something that the three of us have gotten to work on since and haven't had a day off. You know,
But it doesn't, every moment you spend on the film, you're revisiting the most horrific day in your life.
This is true, and I went through the film and I identified frame by frame the firefighters that were on the film that didn't make it out.
So that you could go to their family
Families.
and say, we have this if you want to see it.
Yes.
Most of them wanted to see it or didn't.
Yes, they wanted to see it.
They wanted to see their loved ones.
And I've gotten the tape out to them. And when they received it, they called me back and said, thank you. Thank you very much. Because it shows their husbands and sons and brothers on a day that they were tremendous. They were so heroic. They did their job. There's no fear in anyone's face. There's no hesitation. They're in there to do a job. It's captured. Jules was right there filming it. He saw it firsthand on camera. And now the country, the world can see.
What's the importance of the film, you think?
Not to forget that that day happened. Not to forget. To show. It's a tribute. The film. It's a tribute to the men.
It's hard to say this to an audience who hasn't seen it. But you were there. You were on the inside. And it's not like the Zapruder film. It's often compared to the Zapruder film. And it's only like the Zapruder film in this way. Zapruder, from a distance, caught a historic moment, the assassination. This, I mean, you're inside. It's like you're in the car. You're inside. You can feel and sense and the whole thing. It's remarkable what they did, don't you think?
Incredible. Every time I
instinct
see it,
was right, and every decision. You know, you had the virtue of editing. You know, have there been hard choices editing this? Other than the fact you had 180 hours and you had to bring it down to 2.
But there's not a single frame that we filmed that we could not show.
Yes.
There's not a single frame that we could not show.
Because everything was, we could have...
But these were decisions made by them
At that time, when
at
we
the time,
filmed,
especially Jules.
Yes.
Yeah.
And no, the editing was, of course, in that case, it was more the side of the filmmakers in us that were at the same time trying to do something compelling, something that really represents what the firefighters lived through. And it was a way for us to show the reality of how incredible these firefighters behave that day as they behave every day.
Yeah. I don't want to say this too hard because, I mean, firefighters, we have story after story after story after story of their heroism, you know. But the instinct of these two was amazing to me. The instinct to keep filming, to know that I somehow, for some reason, am in the midst of an historic event, and I have to. I mean, did you think that I have got to document this?
No. It was probably on some level, yes, but the prevailing motion was I need to put distance between what's happening and myself, and the way to do that was to film and keep looking at that little screen on the side.
The screen on the side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was mostly, I think, the reason, definitely. Just put a barrier. You have reality, and you have, it's like I'm looking at the television screen. Even though I'm living it, I need to put some distance. If not, I'll break down.
You're back at the firehouse now.
Back at the firehouse, and getting into the pickup truck with the 3 firemen who just arrived from their home, and driving down on Church Street, remembering seeing Mayor Giuliani passing by, and leaving the area like everybody was leaving the area, and arriving probably 5 minutes before the last hour collapse. And again, it was the total panic. You could feel in every cell of your body that you were in extreme danger and that you should really not be here. But between this and looking for Jules and staying at the firehouse helpless, there was just no choice. I mean, I had to look for Jules, and again, like Jules, thanks to the camera, it was this instrument that would allow you to stay focused and not to completely lose it, and be with those guys. I mean, it was this strange feeling that as long as we were with firemen, nothing could happen to us.
There's also this story that's amazing to me. Father Mike.
Great man. Great man.
It's one of the 2 or 3 classic photographs
Pulitzer Prize
of the day.
winner. Brilliant.
With him in his arms.
Yeah.
And you see him in their film. You
In the
remember?
lobby. I
In the
remember
lobby.
seeing him,
Praying.
yes, mumbling a prayer in the lobby.
Who is he?
Father
James?
Michael Judd. He was the fire department chaplain
For all the fire department.
for all the fire department. I remember when he got the job. He was a terrific man. Very warm. Always come right up to you and talk to you. Sweet man. Very sweet. So, yeah.
He died inside because they come to feel his pulse.
Actually, he was dragged by Eddie to where you were all along. Brought him in, and he brought him all along. I think the official is blunt trauma to the head.
That's the official.
Yeah, that's the official.
Something.
Yeah.
Probably a piece of debris, the marble of the wall, something like that.
Yeah.
He had administered last rites to someone outside, and then stepped back in the building when it collapsed.
And firemen took him.
Yeah, they started to work on him right there.
Yeah, I remember.
You could see that. And then they carried him out of the building, to get him out of the building, and brought him to St. Peter's Church and laid his body on the altar. And that's where he stayed until the examiner came and picked him up.
Back at the fire station, they're watching the fellow firefighters come back.
Yeah, coming back
One by one.
one by one. Just incredible. And as I filmed them, coming back one by one, in shock, just not believing that they were alive themselves. Sometimes talking in group about what just happened, trying to get some confirmation about the fact and what really did happen. And those moments of silence where they would just not even look at each other and just say nothing. And the minutes would pass, and half hours, and still no Jules or no James. Until I think around 1:15, 1:30, asking everybody,
Have you seen Jules?
have you seen Jules? Where is he? I mean, and a firefighter told me, looking at me, he said, he's behind you.
Behind you. It's a great moment.
I turned back, and here was Jules. I'm covered.
But
with
who's
ash.
filming that? Because you see that.
This was
That part.
it was a
You were filming it?
yes. I was filming. I just turned the camera to Jules, and we see Jules coming to me. But it's we put down the camera and we embrace each other. And this it's a friend of ours who just happened to be here and very worried, knew that we were doing a documentary in this firehouse and just stepped in at that very moment. And when he saw the two of us, he just took the camera and filmed us, which is a wonderful recording for our parents because.
Seeing, well, it's the love of two brothers. It's the two brothers being reunited. It's all of that.
Yes. Yes.
How? Obviously, this changed your life, didn't it, Jules? I mean,
Yes.
You've been through
a lot. It definitely. It's been recording these events that morning have been as well as a blessing. And also a very huge responsibility. From the beginning, I remember even that same day saying we have to continue working, but we have to make sure that whatever we do with this will be done well and will be done with all the respect it deserves. And also, we had given our word the first time we had arrived at the firehouse to the firefighters, saying whatever we do, we'll do it with great care, great respect, and as a tribute to the work that you do. We didn't expect it to do it this way, but we decided we're keeping true to our word, and it should not be something exploited, or it should not be something, rerun 500 times in slow motion on television, but part of a bigger truth, which is what we tried to achieve in the film, which is a tribute, before, during 9/11, and after, to show.
I should make 2 points here. One is that you went back and filmed after 9/11, the rescue effort. I mean, these are the moments there where all of a sudden you hear a sound or a body's being brought forward, and you hear everybody say, quiet. All of you have had essentially to go underground, you said, because everybody, first of all, the film, FBI wants it.
Actually, about the FBI, they came that same day at the firehouse, their headquarters being around the corner, said, we've heard that you filmed, the first plane. We said yes, and they said, we'd love to have a copy because it could be important for our investigation. And right away we said, of course, no problem. What can we do to help? We're very proud to be able to help, and especially in that tragic day, to do anything we could to find out the truth, what happened, who attacked us, why, all this. And so we gave them the tape, which they gave us back 2 days after, being very nice. And for us, it was normal. We're also American citizens, and it was important for us to do the right thing.
But the point is also that this was everybody understood rather quickly, this was the documentation of this day.
They did. They found out.
Officials and people who wanted to put it on television for their
what had happened
purposes.
Was right afterwards we continued to film for the next 3 weeks. I mean, some of the footage that we have is so fresh right afterwards, that night, the next night. Then we start going to funerals, memorials, and still continuing to work. And Jules and Gideon really had to be down at the firehouse because that's basically the only place you felt that you were safe, grounded. September 11th seemed like it lasted 3 months. There were 2, 3, 4 memorials a day. Then you'd go back to work. You were never home, but you felt grounded at the firehouse. People start now calling, start showing up, ringing doorbells. They want the footage. What do? Go underground.
Offering lots of money.
Yes.
Tremendous amounts of money.
Insane
Yeah.
amounts of money.
Absolutely.
This film, so then because of a connection at Vanity Fair, Graydon Carter has the wisdom to say, okay, CBS would be the best place to do this. Make the right, the CBS film, which will be seen on Sunday night at 9 o'clock, uninterrupted by commercials, obviously. There is something at the beginning, I guess, perhaps the end.
Nextel is a sponsor, and Nextel
Nextel,
and CBS work together to make sure there were not going to be any commercials.
Robert De Niro will host.
Right, he introduces it because he's of the area, Tribeca. And
He was wonderful about it. about getting involved in the project as far as being the host.
Now, did you edit it or did CBS edit it?
Oh, it's all of us.
All
it
of
was
us, everybody.
An incredible collaboration.
I remember the first meeting we had with Mr. Moonves saying, it's an incredible piece of film that you have. It has to remain your vision, and we're here to help you achieve it. And that's why immediately we saw that the level of commitment and respect CBS wanted to treat this.
There was also the sense that you are giving a significant amount of money to, or whatever it is, to the fire, to what, the brother, what?
The UFA Scholarship
Fund.
For the children. There's 750 children that are missing their dads now just from the Trade Center. This fund is for line of duty, non-line of duty, a guy that would die off the job that necessarily wouldn't get the benefits because he didn't die out of fire.
Sure.
And living firefighters, which will continue to go on. And we thought that this was the best fund at this present time, and we wanted to...
Also, it's a fund that is completely transparent and run by the union of firefighters. And every cent, every dollar that get to the fund goes directly to the children.
Some have said, or raised this question, is it too early? It's 6 months.
Yes.
I remember we've talked quite a lot with the firefighters, not only from our firehouse, but a lot of firefighters who said, you have to show this, and you have to show this as soon as possible, because it is important that people don't forget, and people see what our fallen brothers did that day, and all the people that died, that you have to show the world what has happened for this never to happen again, hopefully.
The film and the story is about that day. An element of that day, which has subsequently come out, was that the tragedy occurring when it did, was it a moment of change of shift?
Yes. Yeah. It happened at 8:46. Most of the guys that come in and relieve it an hour early, the guys from the night before, and those guys go home.
So what you have is people sort of leaving and overlapping,
yes,
and both wanting to go.
That happened quite a bit on the job. Guys that were hanging over, that hadn't gone home yet, jump on the rig, and they want to go help.
With certain elements of chaos because of that, obviously.
I wouldn't say chaos.
A word that some have used, but...
Actually, I was...
Or confusion, or what word would you choose?
I would say that guys wanted to go help and they wanted to do their job. The guys that went in the building, you could see in the lobby at certain points, guys that weren't on duty that showed up, that didn't have a mask or equipment, had stayed in reserved in the lobby, because it was a high-rise fire, and the chiefs and the command post is in the lobby. So a lot of those guys stayed down there and did other things around the trade centers to help out. The guys that were on duty went straight upstairs. I'm sure a lot of guys that are off duty also grabbed masks and went upstairs too. In fact, I mean, that's a definite. But it's just in the nature of a fireman. Someone's in trouble, go help.
Go help. Would you do anything differently?
Thinking back myself, I wish I didn't go home at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Of course you do, but that's not, I mean, that's sort of... Yeah.
Do I think the fire department, by watching the film and everything that Jules shot, I think they performed outstandingly.
The fire department did, clearly.
I am extremely proud and have a lot of pride.
Yeah.
The chiefs, the way they ran the operation, the way the men were that day, I mean, that was, the film is a tribute
Caught that
to them,
idea.
without a doubt.
Of commitment.
No hesitation.
No hesitation.
None. I mean, The United States, the people here, and the world should see how these men reacted. I mean, they have to. You can't forget.
One of the things I remember about you, your obsession to clean your lens. You constantly were.
Always.
Did you see this?
Same thing as keeping the camera on was almost like an obsession to take my mind off things. Was I need to clean my lens. I need to clean my lens, and it became an obsession. Just one of, I don't know, the way I reacted. Something in me took over. Find something to concentrate on to get your mind off the horror of the reality.
When you go back and describe this day with some distance between it, what do you think you'll remember the most?
The heroism.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to see it and to live it with those guys. Because when hell breaks loose, that's when your true nature comes out. And until you are faced with those extreme fear, with danger all over you, you just don't know how you're going to react. And those guys, every single day, reacted the best. And just to see that and to be with them when it's happening, that's what I would remember.
You guys must think about this every day.
Every single day, every single night. I still don't. I don't think I've slept through a night.
Really?
No.
How many people did you know? How many people that trained with you? How many people that...
I know a tremendous amount of guys. I mean, 9 years is not a long time to be a fireman. There were guys with 30 years.
So you see people.
Joe Angelini had 40 years, but I had been at fires with Joe Angelini. Did I know him well? No, I didn't know him well. He was a legend. The whole job knew Joe Angelini. He was the greatest fireman. Captain Patty Brown, another legend on the job. And then guys that you knew that you had a cup of coffee with one day, maybe 3 years ago in their firehouse, and worked just the day. Maybe you didn't catch a job, but you just worked with them the day and you had a conversation with them. And they're not here anymore. So you think about that all the time.
How does the fire department rebuild?
Difficult. But will we do it? Definitely. It's the greatest fire department in the world, bar none. We see the most work. I think we go on the most runs, the best trained. Did we lose a tremendous amount of experience? Yes, we did. But
a leadership core.
We have chiefs like Joe Pfeiffer, who was there that
Your
day,
chief.
that is still alive, that'll go on. Other chiefs that were there, that lived. Firemen that are becoming officers. You move up the ranks, and you teach the new kids. And you bring them along. Will they rebuild? There's no doubt about it. It's the greatest organization, I think, in the world.
A couple of things about your film. You began this film to look at a probie, Tony. They all come back accounted for except one. Who is that?
The problem.
The probie, Tony.
Our kid.
Your guy. So here it is, the one guy you're going to focus on, somehow
Disappeared. No news from him. And he had left the firehouse with Chief Byrne, who had just retired. And the two of them, the probie and the retired chief, leave minutes before the first tower collapse. And by 5 in the afternoon, still no news of them. And who reappear at the firehouse at 5:15? The probie, walking, arriving
after how much time elapsed between the time everybody else was back but him?
Like
9 hours.
9 hours?
9 hours.
And where had he been?
Well, he thought everybody was dead. So for 9 hours, he was digging at the World Trade Center by himself and with Chief Byrne to look for us, to look for everybody. And at 5, completely exhausted, he returned to the firehouse. And who does he see? All the guys who made it back safe, alive.
It wasn't a day where you really wanted to go back to the firehouse because you were afraid. to find out.
Who was missing?
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. He came back 9 hours later, and when you see him, it's on camera. When he finds out, he's just overtaken.
Finds out that everybody's alive.
Yeah.
And he's not the same. He's not the kid we
He's
left.
no longer a kid. You see it there.
He's not the kid that we left in the
really
morning.
is exactly right, Jules, when you see it on film.
He's a man, and he's also a firefighter. And you see that very clearly.
Yeah. What happens to you two now? I mean, this...
There's three of us, I guess.
The three, too, but
It's always
I
the
know
three
where
of us.
he's going. He's going to be a fireman, aren't you? Or not?
No, I'm going to go back to the firehouse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we'll still work together. We've always...
Yes.
Yeah. He's your narrator, so to speak.
No, it's much more the
I know the
narrator.
friendship. I know the friendship is there.
No,
We-
but
in
in
fact,
terms of the project, we
we
directed,
all-
produced, did everything together,
Yeah.
filmed together.
James
all
also
that.
had a camera. We all were
One
completely
single
together.
unit.
And,
When here was my question. Really was. I mean, because of you two came as fire. What we have here is a friendship. What we have here are two filmmakers and a fireman. Correct.
yes.
You have now been, however deep the friendship was,
Mm-hmm.
extraordinarily tightened by this event.
Yes.
When will you be able to think about what's next in your life?
I can't answer that question yet. I don't know.
Haven't thought about it.
No. We've been keeping ourselves extremely busy just because there were a lot of work to be done, but also in a way to kind of push off that moment where we'll have to sit down and really think, what have we been through? And I know I've been afraid of that moment where I might not be able to hold myself together that much when that will happen. So.
When it's almost like, James, help me on this. It's almost like you, at some point, people who lose something deep and close to them. It's weeks later, in this case, months later, because you've been so involved, where the totality of the experience overwhelms you.
Yeah.
You know that's coming at some point when you're going to have to sort of
deal with it, yes. But
and understand it and put it in context and all that. Same thing for you, Kitty.
Absolutely, but it's trying to focus on only the good thing and the positive thing. And right now it's like an obsession. It's all about the fundraising. And hopefully we'll be able to raise so much money that children of firemen will be able to profit from it. It's like, you just want to grab and you only want to focus on the good thing and you just want to forget.
The people, to a person almost, I assume, based on our earlier part of this, wanted the story to be told, wanted to see this film.
I went from firehouse to firehouse identifying people, and they told me, Jimmy, show the raw footage. Just show the raw footage.
Don't
Just
hold anything back.
Don't hold anything back. Please, make sure people knew, and they know what happened, what they went through, what was going on. They still did their jobs without reservation. They just went on. Let them know.
So there was nothing you took out because you edited so carefully in your head as you were shooting. You didn't shoot things that you couldn't.
no, nothing.
No.
So that's there.
At no point.
Including the sounds.
Yes.
Including the sounds of the end of life
Yes.
when somebody from 105 stores.
Because that was the reality of what was happening.
Including language.
Yes.
People saying,
Yes.
there was a moment with you where a small humorous moment said, look, this is not Disneyland when you came up, right?
Yeah.
That was you.
Yeah, that
You
was
yes,
as
yes.
I was making my way back.
were trying to go back and you said,
Yeah.
here's my paper.
I have my letter
Here's my letter
signed
from
by
the
the commissioner from like a year ago, and they
And here's
said,
my
take your
take your
letter, take your
camera,
camera and get out of here.
This is not, not knowing
Disneyland,
anything about the experience. Yeah.
Exactly. No, they looked at me a bit strangely. I was a guy with a
But
pair of
almost
jeans
like,
and
who are you?
T-shirt, and yes, and I know that was also that was difficult when I was looking for you after both collapse and going up and down, talking to hundreds of firefighters. Do you have any news of Engine 7, Ladder 1? And do you see a little French guy with them? And they were looking at me.
Is that what they
"Who's-"
said?
Yeah.
Did you see a little French guy with them?
And they keep looking at me strangely, not knowing what was happening, either because, one, you didn't want to talk really about, the possibility that everybody might be dead, and also because they couldn't really figure out who I was. But that was the lowest moment of that day for me, was just the realization that my brother James and the Proby are dead. Because at first, when we went to that,
hit you first?
after both collapsed, and I started asking people, and they had no clue. I thought you two were in the towers. I didn't see you at the gas leak. I thought you had stayed in the truck. I didn't see you in the lobby. I thought you had went up the stairs. For me, when they both came down, you were in the towers.
The reunion of the two of them on film for me is, it's hard for me to watch it. It's so powerful for me. And then when we met and we hugged, I was so already drained from the whole situation that it was, it was kind of like a dream. I kept thinking I was going to wake up, seeing John upstairs. I just couldn't imagine that everybody had made it out alive. But then you still knew that not everybody could have made it, and you started to hear people say, have you seen so-and-so? Have you seen this guy and that guy? And the reality sets right back in, and you say, well, I have to go back down now, and we have to do something.
There is one of the most dramatic moments here in this film is when the second tower, the first tower fell.
The South Tower.
And you lose lights.
Yes, because as it comes down...
the building shakes
yes,
almost.
Tremendously. That's why we thought it was our building collapsing on top of us. And we hear the debris, which actually was the debris from the South Tower, crashing through the lobby. As far as we were concerned, our tower is coming down on top of us. And I remember running from the command post into a little room that actually is in 6 World Trade, because the two were connected. And the dust takes out all the lights, everything. It's pitch black. And I turn my floodlight on top of the camera, which is very, very bright light, and then start pointing my light wherever they tell me, okay, point your light
there
here.
was a moment in which they said, get that light over here.
Yeah, there was like, hey, light over here. That was my cue. They needed some light, so I was there, just pointing out and trying to help in any way I could.
We have seen throughout this conversation some pictures, which I have here, that are a reflection. No video of this film has been released. We do have these pictures. Tell me what these pictures, which they have been seeing throughout our conversation, are. These are pictures that are taken, shots of the film?
Yes, of the films.
And you just see, as you look at this, what makes this such a powerful film, remembering that this began before, and so there are scenes of New York before. Remembering that in the end, in this enormous tragedy of 3,000 people dying, it is a personal story of moments of individual heroism and individuals coming together who were involved in a whole range of activities that day. This is an extraordinary document. The New York Times said, an important first-hand piece of history, the film offers a way of reclaiming the experience, even as it recedes into history. The New York Daily News said, an astonishing, riveting, remarkable piece of filmmaking, which you will see is humanity at its best, and a story that in the midst of all the unimaginable devastation is a tale of love, honor, duty, and resilience. The Naudets become more like the firefighters they so admired than they could ever have imagined. I thank you, James. Thank you, Gideon.
Thank you,
Jules,
thank you.
For doing such a remarkable job. Sunday night on CBS at 9 o'clock, as we approach the 6 months after this terrible day, September 11th. The film 9/11. Thank you for joining us.